guys, how y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Sean Diddy Combs, you are reacting to um the former FBI's daughter, Maureen Comey, coming on your case, the same person that took down Jane Maxwell for child, blah, 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 right? The same person that was about to take down Jeffrey Epstein until he went away for a sleep that he shall never return from. Well, baby, you responded in the only way you knew how. Did you bring about any new evidence? Did you do anything? No, you decided to write the judge and say, according to Mark Agnophilia, Yana, you can't get a fair trial because they won't allow you to have access to a laptop. Now, you actually, listen, Diddy's team actually submitted a letter to the court. It is laughable. We are going to go over it in detail. But let me just say this. Diddy, after the you tried to be cute with the federal government over the text me ASAP. If you guys don't know what that is, it is an app that when I send an email, it texts somebody on their phone. And when somebody texts on the phone, they respond back in email. It was a way that the federal government said that Diddy was trying to intimidate witnesses, obstruct justice, but more importantly, just lie to the Bureau of Prisons because he was contacting people he was not authorized to contact. Okay. So in any case, the reason they don't want you to have your laptop and they watching you like a hawk now is because you were buying prison minutes, you weren't following the rules, and then you lied about it in court. Anyway, they are now complaining that they are having to face the consequences of their actions. Yeah, Diddy, I hope you're ready for it. I hope you're ready for it. Even Diddy being a superstar, how long is that going to go? Well, he claims he's a superstar. How long is that going to go if you stay in court for the rest of, I'm sorry, if you stay in jail for the rest of your life? I mean, how long before they just be like, that ninja on cell block 4, he been here, just ignore him, right? You're gonna have people in the cell block being like, I hear roaches and rats screaming at night. What is he doing? Again, I think he is trying to make his own little homemade tucci made off of like top ramen, like the flavor packets, toilet water, and whatever Kool-Aid they got in the commissary. And he giving that to the rats and roaches, trying to create his own type of precautions. Anyway, let me stop being silly and get to this letter. Let's get into it, right? Seriously. And you know, Diddy probably so mad because someone that did freak us like that, that is clearly how he relieves stress. That's how he felt like he's the king of the world and the freest black man on the planet, right? So you can't, somebody that has to do it that often, like, yeah, I feel like he's still going to need to do that or he is just going to be in a horrible mood. Anyway, let's get into this. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, now this is directly from Agnophilia Intrada. Yana, dear Judge, Sobermanian, we write on behalf of Mr. Combs to request that the court direct the MDC, that's the Manhattan Detention Center, to provide Mr. Combs with a laptop prepared for him by the government and allow him to use the laptop in his unit, consistent with the way other inmates in his unit are permitted to use their laptop. Let me just say this. No, no. Again, they're not allowing you to same benefits is because you broke all the rules. 2 months after he was charged and detained on November 25th, 2024, the government provided the MDC with a laptop that Mr. Combs can use to review discovery, take notes related to his case, and otherwise assist in his defense. In the 9 days since then, Mr. Combs still has not been provided with the laptop despite numerous inquiries by the defense counsel. I mean, true, they should give him that laptop, but baby, we are going to give you the laptop at the very last second. Cooperation, doing things out of the kindness of your heart, doing someone a favor, being nice when you don't have to. Those are privileges for people that follow the rules, not privileges that for people that file emergency hearings off of falsified documents, make up things, and flout the Bureau of Prison rules. I'm not saying that Diddy should not have his rights protected. What I am saying is you are not going to get an inch more than is constitutionally required. So anyway, let's keep going. Finally, this morning, the government informed Defense Counsel that after consultation with the MDC Council, Diddy has two options related to his laptop. One, he will only be provided with the laptop in the unit's video teleconference room during select times when the legal staff is available and when that room is not otherwise being used during other inmates' legal calls. Or two, he will only be provided with the laptop in the legal visiting room between the hours of 8 and 8:30 p.m. But not both. Just say this. I am thoroughly enjoying the government being petty with Diddy because at the end of the day, Diddy bought this on himself. Even those games he played in embarrassing the judge and lying to the court. I said it back then. You can only run these type of plays one time before you truly will play. It's not over. Okay, but not both. These restrictions, Your Honor, are untenable and from what we understand, not required of any other inmate in Mr. Combs' unit. In Mr. Combs' unit, maybe, but not in the whole jail. And Mr. Combs, unlike a lot of those mugs, they weren't denied bail. They probably just couldn't afford it. Again, prison reform and bail reform, it is something that needs to be talked about, but not in Diddy's case. Sorry. In Diddy's case, the law is working exactly the way it needs to work. Let's keep going on. They significantly limit the time available for Mr. Combs to use the laptop and force Mr. Combs to choose between using the laptop and meeting with his attorney, who often meet with Mr. Combs over video teleconference. You mean the same lawyers he was making three-way calls to, the same lawyers that helped him present evidence to the court that was demonstratively false? Those lawyers? Okay. Yana, there's also no justification for these restrictions. I would argue there is. To be clear, Yana, the discovery provided on Mr. Combs' laptop does not contain any evidence designated as attorney's possession only, and therefore does not contain anything that could potentially link the risk or privacy of alleged victims or witnesses. I would argue that there is sensitive info on that laptop. I would argue that you wouldn't want anyone to know about that. Anyway, let's see what the government, the government is probably going to respond back. U.S. prosecutor Damian Williams, you got 24 hours to respond. I know they up there typing now. Anyway, right? Well, yeah, I know why the terms of the protective order disallowed Diddy from disclosing the discovery to third parties. There's no reason to believe that Diddy is going to show it to other inmates, such that the departure from normal NDC practice is warranted. Thus, there's no conceivable reason why such restrictions should be placed on Mr. Combs. Again, Mark Agnifilio, you answered your own question. There's no reason to believe that Diddy's going to show it to other inmates, such as a departure from normal. He literally was buying minutes. He literally has been accused of obstruction of justice. If it will help him show it to other inmates so other inmates can ask other people to put hits out on people, intimidate people, or help people change their story, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? I'm sorry, does Mark Agnifilio know who he's dealing with? Or is he just being willfully obtuse? Mark Agnifilio is a smart cookie. I think he knows what he's dealing with, but good try, Mr. Agnifilio. Your Honor, there's no conceivable reason why such restrictions should be in place on Mr. Combs, nor could any reason outweigh a significant interest in reviewing discovery and assisting in preparing his defense. Moreover, Your Honor, given the government's efforts to surreptitiously monitor and record his handwritten legal notes, Diddy's needs for a laptop to take legal notes free from government surveillance is heightened. Now, this is a bold move. You are now citing that the government took pictures of his legal notes based off of a ruling the judge gave, but the judge made the ruling based upon the false information that Diddy's team told the judge. If you don't remember when they said that the pad had, or his notes had legal written on top, and the prosecution was like, his notes said to do, and they weren't legally protected? You remember that? Well, now they're trying to say that because that falsified, and then they found out that after the raid, Diddy wrote legal on top and then called an emergency hearing. So the whole premise of what they said was a lie. So now they're trying to say, given what happened with the government, y'all, let's keep going in this. In addition, Yana, last night, Defense Counsel learned that the MDC has been providing the prosecution team, and not via the filter team, copies of MDC attorney visitation forms, who Mr. Combs meets with in connection with his legal defense, including potential experts and investigators, is potentially privileged. Potentially privileged. He is in jail and he is being accused of running a RICO. They already established they have the right for this information. Now it's potentially privileged. Yana, even if not privileged, and my guess is it's not. This level of surveillance offends due process and hampers his ability to prepare his defense. But it's a level that Diddy demanded, because even when you told the court, Mark Agnifilio, that Diddy had stopped all this nonsense by November 15th or 16th, he still was doing it up to the night before his last bail hearing. I ain't gonna say you did it to yourself, but you did it to yourself. Anyway, right? The MDC has informed defense counsel that it produces such information whenever a defendant complains about inability to access his attorneys. Okay, so let me get this straight. The MDC says it is their policy to provide that information to the prosecution team whenever a defendant complains. And now you are saying that you complained. And they did. Okay, Mark Agnifilio. Here, however, the defense has not taken issue with Mr. Combs' ability to meet with his attorneys in person at the MDC. Rather, Mr. Combs' inability to prepare for his defense stems from the restrictions the government has placed on his ability to receive and review discovery, and his inability to keep his privileged legal notes confidential. This is a bold move. Keep bringing up the way you embarrass the judge. There's no conceivable reason why the government should know who and when Mr. Combs meets with in connection with his legal defense. But isn't that what happens in jail? Am I wrong? Lawyer, listen, legal tattletales, let me know in the comments. Am I off on this? Because I see the point Mark Agnifilio is making, but I still believe it's a moot point. But y'all let me know what you think. Accordingly, we respectfully request that the court correct the MDC to 1, provide Mr. Combs with a laptop that has been prepared and provided by the government in your dreams, and to allow him to use it in that unit, and 2, cease sending the government copies of attorney visitation forms. The government has indicated it intends to file a response. Respectfully, Mark Agnifilio and Tenny Garagos, Agnifilio Interator. Y'all listen. I am waiting for the government's response. I know they gonna rip them apart. Again, I get it. Mark needs to bill. Mark needs the hours. And at the end of the day, this is what you pay defense lawyers to do. But again, I think Diddy used all his goodwill left in his last stunt. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck trying to run that same play a second time. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.